second book we review is The Midnight Library. The name of author is Mohd. The type of the fiction we choose is science fiction and fantasy. There are 336 number of pages and year of publication is 2020. Why did we choose this book? Because there are many lessons that we have. First is we are all capable of credible success. Second is appreciate what you have now. And the last one is time and mindset is change everything. This novel have three main characters. First is Nurhaswani. Nurhaswani is a 35-year-old woman living in Bedford, England, who struggle with depression and feeling of regrets. The second one is Miss Elms. Miss Elms is a Nora Imogen's guide at the Midnight Library. Sid is Nora's brothers and talented musician who struggle with addiction. To summarize about this story is The Midnight Library is about Nora, a 35-year-old woman who is regretful about her life and feel alien and unneeded in this world. In depth of her journey, she comes across the Midnight Library. In it, each book represents a portal into another version of on her life could have been as she read the value. They allow her to access different versions of her life, relationships she could have stuck with, career she could have pursued, and so on. As she jumps in and out of these alternate realities, Nora's journey of self-discovery results in a life-affirming and reflective story about the choice we make, the path we have chosen, and each for our place in this world.
For the main theme in this book, for me it is choices, regret, philosophy, and also the meaning of life. For the example of the choices is while giving her TED talk, Nora thinks of Mrs. M as she shares, you see, doing one thing differently is very often of the same as doing everything differently. For the regret, every regret Nora has ever had is written up in her book of regret. As she tries out branch of her life, she dispels many of her regrets, whether because she learned she had less control over them like cat dying, or because she doesn't see the untrod path as having led to a better life like becoming an Olympic swimmer or staying with her band. For philosophy, one of the philosophies shared is another spectrum of reflecting on life. Nora shares, the life of a human according to the Scottish philosopher David Hume was no greater importance to the universe than that of an oyster. And lastly, for the meaning of life, when she returns to the library, she says to Mrs. M, swimming, I like swimming, but I don't think I was happy in that life. I don't know if I'm truly happy in any life. To which Mrs. Elm responds, is happiness is the end? Main character personality, Nora is unhappy in her life. Nora decided to die and she overdosed on pills at midnight. Nora finds herself surrounded by mists and she discovered the Midnight Library. Mrs. Elm explaining that the library exists between life and death. Nora tries a two-meaning life where she belongs before, but it is not when well. Nora ends up trying out on a multitude of lives and careers. Mrs. M tells Nora how to exit by finding the book representing her original life. When Nora is back in her original, she stumbles outside for help and soon wakes in a hospital. In conclusion, The Midnight Library by Mohd is both heart-wrenching and beautiful. After all, I learned that we all have the potential to live whatever life we want. We just have to believe in our strength and have to stop regretting our decision. I will highly recommend this book to those who haven't read yet. So that's all from my part, and thank you for watching.